Alright, it looks like we are all set for our next run, Beatmania with Mina.
Yeah, I suppose we are all set for this. Yeah, hi, I'm Mina. You might remember me from hosting and doing commentary for Zelo for the Pump Showcase last week. And if you were backstage, you may remember me from restreaming. But now it's my turn to force everyone to watch me play my video game of choice, which is Beatmania 2DX, and returning the favor since I was on Zelo's couch. Zelo, say hello.
Hello. I am legally obligated to be here as Mina's bestie. I don't play 2DX regularly anymore, but I'm still excited to be here, have fun, do a little bit of lore dump and such.
Yeah. So, um, not listening to the Gold Rush background music because I waited literally years to be able to get the Beast Over background music in. And I'm just gonna vibe here for a second before we get started. This is, I guess you could argue that at this point this is Konami's flagship rhythm game. It gets an annual release every year, end of September, early October. They don't make bad decisions with this game, unlike Dance Dance Revolution, because very, very few people like DDR World, which just came out in the past week. It's heavily themed. There's a lot of great music. It gets a lot of love and effort put into it. Really cool.
Yeah, just to expand on that, so this game does get yearly arcade releases. We were playing a home version. This is Infinitas, the 2020 update of it, which is like a paid subscription home port that you can play on PCs at home, which is really nice, and it's a very sophisticated and very close to arcade port.
Yeah, we're gonna get started too. And yeah, if you've got dancing emotes, this is the time to use them. If you have good speakers, now is the time to turn them on. If you have neighbors that you hate, now is the time to turn on your good speakers and point them at your neighbor. Because
You're gonna
we're
get
about to
bopping
go.
tunes for an hour.
We're going hard for an hour 15 actually, because we did meet the incentive for crunchy bangers on Corset. So let's get started.
Okay, so we'll get started with Get Set Go, featuring Kana Asaba, one of our very lovely main vocalists seen throughout the series. Really, really great song to start with. And while we get into that, I can start off with the basic mechanics. So if you've never played anything in the Beatmania series, or really any rhythm game, you've got these notes coming in from the top. When they hit the red bar at the bottom, you hit the corresponding button or turntable. So you have 7 keys lined up across the bottom, and then you have the turntable on Mina's left. So this game is very strict on timing. It's very, very timing focused, but passing songs is also very difficult. You'll see a life bar at the bottom there that's currently at 100%. You start at a low amount when you begin a song, and when you get good judgments, life bar increases. You miss notes, life bar decreases. The life bar must be at least 80% at the end of the song in order to get a pass. And that can be tricky because oftentimes the songs in this game, they like to throw a lot of notes in at the very end to make you drop below that 80% gauge. You'll also see the score below the bottom. We call that EX score. This used to have a scoring system that we used to call money score, but that's no longer in the game. And EX scoring is pretty simple. You have flashing greats, that's the best judgment you can get. Those are worth 2 points. You have normal greats, which are worth 1 point, and any other judgment is worth 0. And the score is used to determine the grade that we'll see at the results at the end of the song. Each grading threshold is X out of 9%. X out of 9 for your EX scoring, so 8/9 amount of EX points or more gets you a AAA, 7/9 to 8/9 gets you AA, and etc. etc.
Yeah, let's just start with a PB. Why not?
Very nice. Yeah, plus 13 is good to start. Only minus 45 below AAA, too.
I mean, like that could have been AAA-able. if my timing was a little more locked in, but that is a gripe for people who know what I'm talking about, and not for the middle of a marathon showcase where I'm showing the game to people who have probably never seen it before. And if you were here for my last Power Up with Pride showcase, you may recognize a couple of songs that are going to be making a return this time around. But there's also a lot of stuff that's come out since that showcase, like this song. So there's a lot of new stuff in here too. Like there's been like a dozen song packs since my last showcase on Power Up with Pride, so I added a bunch of new songs too. So yeah, let's see what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, this game is a subscription-based home port, so you get a base set of songs, and then you can also buy additional song packs that they release that have stuff from arcade, or sometimes even a little bit of new content that isn't even in arcade yet. But Masayoshi Imori, one of the many great commissioned artists, get some really, really great stuff from them. So let's talk about the difficulty scale for a little bit. We've got 3 basic difficulties. We have normal, hyper, and another. All the songs you will see today are on the highest difficulty, another. And then we also have 2 other difficulties on the low end. We have beginner for very easy charts, and then we also have the special legendaria difficulty that's used for like very upper tier, unusual concept things. Difficulty scaling ranges from 1 to 12 in this game, and I will just say anything above 9, it is a very, very wide scale that they've used for almost 20 years. So, and they kind of need to expand it, but we're going to be seeing mostly 9s to 11s, with the 12 thrown in. You might have also seen a very long note on the turntable over there, and we're going to be seeing a little bit more with some long notes on the keys. We call those charge notes and backspin scratches. So you actually need to hold them down and then release at the end for charge notes. And backspin scratches are the same, where you need to constantly scratch in one direction for the duration, and then at the very end you scratch the other way. So you don't see those too often. Those are usually they're marked on the song select when you when a song has those. They're not a very common mechanic, but they are used.
Zoinks. Timing a little fast today. So I usually have the opposite problem.
Well, you are a speedrunner. You want to go fast.
Yeah, that is true. I did start speedrunning again. Shoutouts to the Neon Beats community, which is mostly Lady Arcaders plus Soul Mass at this point. We just... Metroid Prime kind of made us accidentally, like, revive that game's leaderboard.
You know, speaking of Neon Beats, we actually do have an incentive coming up for that, if our host would like to give us a quick update on where we stand on that.
Absolutely. It's looking like that incentive is at $113 out of 300. So we can absolutely do this, I think. Just think fast, chat. And speaking of donations, we have $18 from BorbFan, who says, "Wow, Beatmania. I remember I used to play that at my nearest round 1, which was like an hour from my house. Also, I no longer go to round 1. Anyway, I hope this channel's audience enjoys watching the finger gymnastics that go into playing these games." And I agree. Like, looking at this, I'm just in awe, Mina.
Yeah, 2DX is arguably the hardest arcade rhythm game to play at all, much less play at extremely high level. So we have this thing in 2DX called Dan courses, and they're kind of used as your rank. You play a set of 4 songs back to back that are predetermined, and if you manage to pass that course, you get a rank, and people kind of use that rank to determine like their overall skill in the game. Mina, if I remember, at her absolute best, she is a Chuden rank, which is the second highest rank in the entire series, which is absolutely incredible. Also, we're just gonna jam right here. Follow Tomorrow. It's such a great great song. You gotta really appreciate 2DX, especially for the music variety. This game has multiple sound directors, and they really do a fantastic job picking songs for licensing, getting commissions out for original songs made. Like, this game's song list is huge, and it is extremely varied. And unfortunately, I just lost VLC on my start. Let me see if I can pull that back up. Uh-oh, she might have heard.
At this point,
Oh,
like I am shooting still. Oh, yo, esports. I'm stuck on reconnecting. Let me tab out and yeah, let me tab out and redo. Where?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Alright, is this? All right, cool. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what happened. Soul, I see you in chat. Please go into the tech channel backstage and post texthaunted.jpg for me. We are going to play that song again because I don't know when things crashed. And also, I can hear myself through someone's speakers, and that is disorienting.
Okay, well that's okay. We'll pick up right back up with Follow Tomorrow again. It's like you gotta have a proper play of a Ryu song. It's not a proper showcase without Dai dancing somewhere, right? So we gotta have Dai dancing. But this song debuted in Linkle, which is a pretty old version at this point. So this game is divided. We talked about the different versions for a bit. We call them styles. Currently, the arcade version is on the 31st style, which is Epolis. Linkle is quite old, at this point being the 19th style, and I believe that was the last 2DX game that could be played without requiring a special network connection. Because this music games in general now, they like to have proprietary like network connections required to boot these games. So Linkle was pretty well sought after for being able to play offline back in the day. Yeah. But this song's great, light and easy, composed by Ryu, very very great in-house composer. Been around for a long time, ever since he composed for a song for a contest back in 4th style, and then he came back later on and he's been doing stuff since. And we get a few other notable people who like Dai here dancing around, and Mayumi Morinaga singing for us, and we got Starving Trancer in the background on the piano.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, that's margin of error from where I was before.
That looks locked in enough for me.
Yeah, now I'm hitting fast because I tabbed out, but that's a problem for future. But yeah, I had to sort it out. Yay! Yeah, to circle back to the styles conversation, I've been playing since right after 8th style released in arcades. So I've been playing this game for over 2 decades at this point, which is quite a while. And that's all I will say about the matter. Don't ask women their age.
See, I'm Babby in comparison. I started only because Cannonballers came out and fixed the timing delay, which made me actually want to play the game seriously.
And then you immediately stopped playing it because Cannonballers was only a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So
game
yeah.
is hard.
Yeah, game hard. Yeah, Follow Tomorrow is from the original Power of Pride showcase. So is Toy Boxer. These are both good songs. We're playing them again.
So we got another 10 right here. 10s are pretty wide range. I don't remember this being too difficult for a 10, but I will say this song is great for how quirky it is, considering it's both SCU and Soyun for your composers. And I love SCU songs as a whole. But this song was actually part of a big event, the Ichika no Bamani Tohyo Senbatsu-sen 2019 event. So they like to do a lot of events for Bamani games, for music games, both games in the Bamani brand, and then sometimes with other companies as well. So they'll have songs crossed over between different games that you normally wouldn't get. So I believe for this one, there were 7 games involved. Each had their own specific song that was available immediately. And then the other 6 songs you could unlock by just playing your respective game. Although you could unlock them faster by playing the other games. But yeah, events like those are a great way for new players to try different games that they might normally get into. Because I know I've definitely had to at least play a few credits of stuff like, say, Musica, or some of the other Bomani series that I probably wouldn't have gotten into otherwise. So it's a neat idea. Mina's still keeping that good combo going on.
I don't care about the full combo. I'm mad about the -6.
Well, unfortunately, unlike Pump, combo is not important in this game, but it is good to see number go up.
Yeah.
That plus 23 though.
Yeah, if it's not a full combo, we don't care about combo in this game. It's all about staying alive.
Staying alive and getting those perfect grades. But
It
hey,
is not uncommon to get AAA fails at high level play.
yeah, circling back to the life thing, like I said, they like to put a lot of things at the very end to try and make you fail, to just barely skim under the 80% mark. So, AAA fails are very common.
Yeah. Bangers from Zektok warning, by the way.
Yes, absolute banger. This is Tomosuke at his finest. Like, not just the composition, but also the movie. Like, this game's movies that they design for the songs are generally truly incredible, and this is definitely one of the most memorable for me. Tomosuke is also a very versatile artist as well, and he goes by several other aliases. Like, we've got his Zekbok alias here, but you know him also for songs by Orange Lounge, songs by Dormir, songs by Caldera. But just hitting that violin right there, that's peak. This one's kind of a nasty 10 in places, though. Yeah, once you start hitting like 9s and 10s, you often get long sets of 16th notes, and the keys are very close together, as you can see on the controller, and it's a little bit of a challenge figuring out your kind of playstyle, how you want to hit things. And there's multiple playstyles to be had. Like, some people kind of do more of a claw grip on the left and have their kind of their wrist more to the left, and some other people like Mina kind of do like a more overhead approach, and where the wrist is more towards your body. This applies not only to hitting keys, though. This also applies to hitting the turntable with the scratches. Some people will do that with the palm of their hand, depending on the pattern, but usually we like to do just kind of a pinky scratch.
Now we'll take the +1. God, I really miss when Tomosuke wasn't stuck behind a desk. He occasionally makes music still, but he's doing something for Konami Corporate now.
It really applies to a lot of the really great 2DX artists we had kind of growing up. They're all kind of promoted into new positions, and we don't really hear music from them very often anymore. It's a little sad, but we do have a good fresh batch of talent always coming in. So we see the game change, and that's fine. So this is an Earth-like planet. This is composed by Polymoog, one of the members of the Electel unit. Electel's great for their use of bass lines. Like, this game, especially in this. That's why I think this and Moonrace are real bangers to listen to. But interestingly enough, this debuted in Gold, one of the styles, the 14th style, and it kept going until, I think, Resort Anthem, and then it was removed from arcade mixes. And then it just was randomly revived for Infinitas when they did the 2020 update. Well, probably in one of the song packs, but Infinitas is a really interesting home port just because of the song choices they make with revivals, and you'll see a lot of revivals in this home port that you don't really see in arcade.
Little micro stir there. We're gonna restart the song.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's also one of the things about 2DX that makes it a little bit notorious. The engine is very based on having a stable frame rate, and if it gets off in any way and you get a stutter, you can absolutely desync the song. Because this game is key sounded to where the timing of what you hear is proportional to like how well you're playing the song and hitting the keys. So if it's not synced up properly, you could be getting perfect grades, but your sounds are going to be coming out like 50 milliseconds later than they should, and it sounds awful. So we'll just say that music games as a whole, their engines are definitely held together by duct tape and super glue. It's like, Chad, I have to wonder, what would y'all even consider like an Earth-like planet? I want to see some responses. I should have expected an Earth answer. But the song is so
Funny
chill.
rolls. Funny rolls. Oh well. Yeah, I play with random turned on for everything, so occasionally patterns do bizarre, weird things that you've never seen before and can be weird to hit. Wait, why am I in B? I'm looking for Sugar Plum. Sugar Plum is under S. I was thinking B for Beastrover, the version that it's from, I think.
Well, it is the food mix, and you are hungry probably. I'm gonna say that.
It is the food mix. I am hungry. It was my favorite style for the time that it came out. It still is, but yeah.
I guess since you brought up random, we can talk about mods for a second, like different options that you have. So this game has a lot of customizable options. Even that you can see right here, you can kind of see like an overlay cover with the girl at the top of the lanes. So that is that lane cover can be adjusted farther down, farther up, just to wherever you see things comfortable. So that would be sudden. And then Mina talked about random. So this has a random feature where take the chart and take each individual lane that you see. The random will swap the lane, so all the notes of lane 1 could go to lane 4 or lane 5, and you just basically swap all those. So Mina likes to do that, and it does make you a better player to be able to play random patterns, because you get patterns that you normally wouldn't see, so you have to adapt to that. And due to like the layout of the keys and the turntable, it's actually very, very possible to play pretty much everything on random, which makes it pretty unique in that regard, because most other games that you turn on like kind of a random lane change usually becomes a almost unplayable mess. So pretty neat.
I don't know why my system is doing this today. This is so unusual.
Oh, did you get another desync?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. The joys of streaming Bamani games at home. like these home ports are legitimately really great, but as noted in chat, they can be very finicky, and the slightest thing that sets them off desyncs your game. So this is actually Katona House's only 2DX original song, I believe. He doesn't really have a whole lot in Bamani yet, but we'll probably see more of him in the future. But he does cite Yoshitaka and Chorus K as his musical influences, two very, very well-known artists in the music game community and scene. I don't know, really a lot of the core crew of 2DX really inspired a lot of other artists to compose. We'll kind of get into BMS a little bit later. We can talk more about artists and such. But really, like, the core people that started within, like, the first 10 to 15 years of music games really being around, they did a lot to, like, set the ground. And now we have great artists like Katona House composing for us. Also, very appropriate that this this music video is about food in a style that was basically about food and cooking. It is very cute.
Yeah, that is a song from the 28th version, Beastrover, which was a version about traveling to eat. And ironically enough, I did travel from Florida to 2 different locations that had a round one, partially to eat, and partially so I could play this game and hang out with friends that lived in the area. And, like, it's a very special version of the game to me for that reason. Where I met some of my closest friends in person for the first time. Yeah, shoutouts Dat Boy. Shoutouts Blake. Shoutouts Adam Kirby, the legend. Shoutouts Jonathan Campbell, who is actually my roommate and not home at the moment. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Obviously, you need to drag him back home and do more commentary.
Actually, I know where he is actually, but he's indisposed. But yeah, Jonathan Campbell's a real one. The only man I know who would dox himself on the internet.
He is the man. He really is. Alright, well, we'll go through that feeling. I'm going to kick it over to Space Cats if we have any important announcements right now.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of donations. From Jam Mitch, we have $10. And they say, train song, hi Mina.
Hi, Jamich.
And I'd also like to remind everyone about the incentives that we have happening right now. We have that Neon Beats upgrade to all music notes. We're just under halfway, so we've got a little bit more time. We can absolutely do this. I believe in all of you.
We've got another Beastrover song right here with that feeling. You might notice the theme. As Mina mentioned, Beastrover being her favorite mix. And we're gonna have a lot of Beastrover songs in this showcase. And Beastrover came out after I had stopped regularly playing, but I've always found the song selection, especially in Beastrover Beast, especially good to my taste. That's really the great thing about 2DX. We talked a little bit about the music variety. You can always find at least several songs that you will really hands down enjoy. I think in arcade mixes we're coming up on well over 2,000 songs at this point. You will find at least something that you can pick out and be like, that's a banger.
Yeah, if you haven't found a song in this game that you don't like, or the words are hard. If you can't find a song you like in this game, you're not looking, or you just hate music. There's really no in between. Yes, the return of Daisuke. Yeah, and then nobody can escape Daisuke's dance moves. Another song returning from the original Power Up Pride showcase.
You get dancing twice in one marathon. That's a bargain right there. He really does make the best. Although I'm most fond of Dazzlin' Darlin's dance. This song is so cute. And it's actually composed by Course K, another really great Bomani legend. He puts in quite a few songs per mix. I think in Beastrover he had the most new songs out of any artist in the entire 2DX series. He had like 10 songs, if I remember right. Like that's a ridiculous amount for like basically yearly cycles. I do appreciate that they leaned into the color bit. So this debuted on Tricoro, and Tricoro's bit was using red, blue, and yellow pretty much everywhere, and I'm glad they leaned into it for the video. And that's the really great thing about the different styles, is like each of them is very themed in some way, and they go all in on those, and they're pretty pleasing to look at.
Do also have to point out that all the fits in that video are fire.
I could absolutely see you in that dress.
Yeah.
I could have.
One day. Alright, what did I have next? Oh, Stepper, yeah. Ooh, banger alert. Like DEFCON 5 banger alert.
Hasn't that just been the last 30 minutes?
Yeah, but we didn't have anything from Dance Rush until now, so...
Yes. So Dance Rush, one of the other Bomani series, very, very well known for being kind of like the shuffle game. And it's very fun for what it is. It's not like super hard, but it's very fun. It's somehow still going. Like, we're not sure because they haven't really been adding content to Dance Rush, but they are porting songs from it, and this ended up being one of them. So this ended up being crossed over in Cast Hour, which is the 29th style, I believe. Like, Psyche doesn't have much stuff in Bomani yet either, but what they already have in game is quite good. And this one especially is a good fit for 2DX. Here, we've gone over a few of the UI elements. Let's go over a couple other things. You see that graph, those two rising bar graphs that are above the controller there. One side is Mina's best, and the left side is the current play, so you can kind of track your progress as you go. And on that graph, you can also see the thresholds for needing to get an A, or double A, or triple A. And at the bottom, we also have a counter that tells you how far ahead of your best you are. And then to the right of the controller, you can actually see some other useful information, which is kind of just more fun for looking back at things. You're not going to be looking at that midway through a run, because you're going to be too focused on notes. But it's good to see what your counts are, how fast or slow your accuracy's been, and what your current timing offset can be. So this game has a wealth of information, and you can enable and disable it at will in options menus, which is really nice.
Yeah, there's also a third red bar that you can use that matches against the score that you have like targeted, but I'm using personal best right now, so that overrides that option because it would just show the same bar twice. Also, where's Scala? Scala, where you at? It's time. Okay, Scala's got miking in saying that we're ready for Gold Rush.
I only wish you were playing a game that still had money score for this.
It's true. Yeah, I do wish that Money Score still existed to show us the alleged riches of a high-performing DJ gig. Anyways, chat, if you know the words, now's the time to sing along.
You ready to make it make money? I'm just gonna let this one speak for itself. Thank you, Yoshitaka and Michael Alamo, for this one. Yeah, I will say that 2DX Gold was such a style. Like, it really was, like, way more charisma than this series needed up to that point. I hope y'all were also good at counting your styles.
How did I PB on that crazy wonky random? That was all over the place.
Yeah, this one was always pretty notorious for 11, so that you got that was great. So since we don't actually have money score, chat, I want y'all to pretend that Mina's EX score is her money score and donate 1975 if you can.
Yeah, that was a good play. Also, rest in power, Michael Alamode. Jason Rubinstein, the Konami employee that portrayed Michael Alamode, sadly passed away from, I believe, cancer a couple years after Gold came out. So that was one of the last times, and one of the only times that we got to see him in that role. So hopefully he's partying in the big VIP room upstairs. As he deserves to. Rootage. Oh yes, Oyster Project.
Yeah, Oyster Project's great. She actually went by a different alias before she like started really composing for Bamani. But I know her mostly for her like jazz and prog stuff, but then her styles are very varied as well, and you'll get some nice rock like this. It can be cute, or it can be really rough, like say what Chernobog was in Beatstream. She's very good at composing, whatever the situation calls for her. So this one came from the $26, which is Rootage. And Rootage was actually rather interesting in that it actually had an offline kit that you could buy at the end of service, which is not typical. So when these games upgrade in arcade, they usually just push a big update that upgrades the hard drive instantly to the next game. And it's just live instantly, so you don't get like offline kits or such. Rootage was one of the few exceptions where you could actually get an offline kit and run the game with no network support. I will say that we are seeing 9s as our lowest difficulty today, and even if those seem too intimidating for you, there's plenty of lower content. Like, this game is very difficult, and it does take a lot of practice and a little bit of headbanging sometimes against the wall, but you can always play those lower difficulties and have a good time and at least enjoy the really great music. And if you are wondering if this game will run well on your PC, then Infinitas does have like a trial where you can play one song for free without needing the subscription or anything, any of the song packs or such, and you can test, see if you like it. So really great for that. Nice full combo, by the way, MPB.
Thank you. Yeah, keep it going.
Get that peanut butter in.
Go one more up. Ah, yes. Rabu Kira Splash. This is another song that kind of speaks for itself. It's a banger.
I was both surprised and not surprised at the same time when I learned that the lyrics were composed by Nana Takahashi. Like, she's not singing in this one, but she did make the lyrics, and she's pretty well known for being the former head of Soundholic, which is a Dojin team that does a lot of really great music for Bamani stuff. But this one was mostly composed by Soda. Soda's been around a long time, since like the late 90s. Like, his style of electronica is just really great, just varied bass and such. The video is so cute as well. Also, this one also debuted during Heroic Verse, which is the 27 style. This was part of another event. It was the Ichika no Bamani Cho Junkin Taikai 2020 event. Like I said, they love their events. They pull things from everywhere.
Is it alright if I pop in with a donation?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Alright, from Scala Kitty, we have $19.75. And the comment is, as a thank you for including Gold Rush for me, here is the requested $19.75 donation. Thank you so much for that, Scala.
Yes, thank you, Scala. Especially Scala doing so much stuff behind the scenes. Like, we gotta throw Z a bone.
Yeah, we mentioned Love Love Sugar earlier, so we should probably play it. One of the more surprising crossovers, to be sure.
Yeah, if you played DDR Extreme, you probably played this a few times, because it was pretty popular when it was crossed from Poppin' to Extreme. But oddly enough, this is not in Arcade 2DX at all. This was crossed over just to Infinitas. And I find that a really strange decision. I'm not complaining. I love this song. But I'm just like, of all the revivals to do, this was not on my list ever. It's also one of the times you get to hear Noria sing. She was a former member of the girl group B4U. You might know of their songs from early DDR games. But Noria actually did a few other songs outside of the group. Mostly in the early days, but I think there was something, I think, Cinebuzz that she came back for after like several years. So it's a good refreshing bass. And there's a lot of like weird little grace notes in this chart where there are things are off just by just a little bit. They're not straight 16th notes. It's a little tricky to see those. But Mina's handling those really well. That feels like an element of like old poppin' music charts because old poppin' did that a lot too. Maybe they wanted to carry that over. And there's a lot of creativity that goes into making like note charts for any music game, especially 2DX, since everything's key sounded.
See a comment in chat. Wonder how long it'll be before the release of the next style. Late September, early October. You can pretty reliably set your watch on it.
Yeah, we're about 8 months into Epilis right now. So.
Yeah, we'll probably see the location test announcements in the next month or so. For like the very beginning preliminary rumblings of the location test announcements. Okay, Sequence Cat. Another one returning from the last Power Up with Pride showcase. And actually, if memory serves, I missed the full combo by one break during that showcase. So this is
the revenge play right here.
This is the salty run back to try to get the full combo during the same marathon. Also, shout-outs to my friend Kat, because her cat is named Sequence after the song.
So while Mina tries to fight for that full combo, let's talk about the old home versions for just a second. So this actually debuted in
We're gonna try that again.
Gold home version.
We're early enough in it.
For Gold CS. Didn't actually get an arcade release until Sonabuzz. And this game actually held up old home versions for quite a long time, up until Empress, which was the 16th style. So you have a home version would have like almost all, if not all, the new songs that the arcade release would have, and then would also revive several revival songs to kind of fill out the list. So you'd usually have about like 80 or so songs on the disc, and they did this for every style up through the PS2 era, which was pretty nice. Empress especially being extra special, having 2 discs instead of just one, so you actually got about 160 songs to play with, which for a home version on PS2, that was a very, very good deal. Unfortunately, these games are also JP only, and are pretty rare and hard to come by. But it's nice to see the gameplay preserved pretty nicely, going from arcade to home version. Also, Slake is an amazing composer, being like one of the OGs of beatmania games and compositions. And LED is also very important, being the current head sound director for the 2DX. And he's definitely shaped up the game's music in a way that I really think is so well suited. And I really don't think anybody else would have done a better job.
Oh well. One day.
Another time. The funny not a speed up but kind of feels like a speed up part is always funny to see. It's just ridiculous how dense it gets.
Yeah, that was a really awful random too to try to like time on. Had a lot of scale work on one hand. Alright. Another returning track from the last showcase. One of my personal favorites. Futari no Toki, remix of the True Ending theme from Tokimeki Memorial, which is another Konami franchise that's very close to my heart. And it's a very important game, very important franchise. You should watch the action button review of it if you're not familiar with it. So, literally the game that like if you've played a game like Persona or The Sims that tries to model how a relationship works in video game form, it stole stuff from Tokimeki Memorial very liberally. It's a very important game.
You can also see on the title that this is the 50th Memorial song, so this was a huge, huge batch of songs to celebrate Konami's 50th. At least I think. But there were a lot of songs that all labeled this way, and they're all fun to play, they're all nice to listen to, but this one especially since we've got vocals by Amy, Amy being one of the commissioned vocalists over the years. She likes to sing stuff for DJ Taka a lot, like here. And, it's a good time. It's just pleasant to listen to. Yeah, I want to circle back to timing for a bit while we play through this, because we talked a little bit about how difficult the timing is. This game now runs at a possible 120 FPS. Before it would run at 60, but there is added support for 120 nowadays. But going by the old timing method, basically the perfect great window was equivalent to 2 frames at 60 FPS. So it was very tight. So if any of you play DDR and you're having trouble getting Marvelouses on any recent release, or anything that had Marvelouses, imagine doing that with all these notes right here. All of them. Like, your finger dexterity for 2DX to be able to constantly keep up a stream of perfect grades is just, you have to really be on point.
One day I'll get the AAA moved over onto this version. Say is not that day though.
But it is PB day.
And it's PB day, yeah. It's a PB for Infinitas.
Not just for
Unfortunately, they don't share
either.
scores with the arcade version like Sound Voltex does.
Yeah. It also is nice that they not only keep track of your best EX score, they also keep track of your lowest miscount. So if you really want to aim for full combos, you can see it go down there. Alright, so we got Fervidex by Ferriquitus here. It's a pretty nice 11 to look at. Thankfully, I'm not the one playing, so I can enjoy it from here. But Ferriquitus is known for making up titles and lyrics for her own songs. She does a lot of really great artcore. I remember that she was somebody's like apprentice when she started composing. I forget who. But their songs were so similar that they often get confused for each other. Just a pretty funny thing to sound like your teacher. But she's definitely made a name for herself. A lot of her songs being not only in 2DX, but in some other music game series. Like I know Andamiro licensed one song of hers for Chrono Circle. And I'm sure there's plenty others in Sega games and maybe even some Taito games. You also need to appreciate the really great character art here. Like, the movies themselves are great, but this game's art design for the characters has evolved over the years. But in general, you can always agree that it's been very, very good. Like, you might have, like, a preferred art style for the characters, but the attention to detail has always been fantastic on them. So, big shout-outs to all of the in-house and commissioned illustrators that really, like, give these characters life and really enhance the presentation.
The 2DX one at the end just to steal the AAA. And the PB, and the everything. Oh well. That's how they get you. 14 off PB is pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's solid.
Furbidex is well known for having a very inconsistent ending. And Furbidex is also very well known for starting off in BMS, which we mentioned briefly earlier. Alright, where's Nodokotsu? Alright. You're gonna see something a little different. I'm gonna turn off random. I'm also gonna call a serious time because this is a surprisingly difficult 11. It actually took me a couple tries to pass it the first time when it first came out, just because I was trying to clear it with hard gauge, which makes it a little harder.
Yeah, I'll give
But
you your
yeah,
serious time for this one. Just everyone enjoyed this banger of a song, but I'll let you go for it.
yeah, Ujiko, Snail's House, absolutely amazing artist. Wow. Snail's House does not miss. Shout out Zujiko. Shout out Mira. I don't know if Mio Fratello Italiano is hanging out in chat, but Mira loves this song.
Yeah, Mira, great friend of us, great friend of the community.
Yeah,
Shoutouts to you because you kicked it. You kicked that sucker.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to go that smoothly, to be honest. Like, I still struggled with it. Like, I'm not nearly confident enough to deal with that negativity. But, like, randoming that song, like, creates, like, a lot of... That is a song where I will sit and hunt for a specific random. Like, just to try to get something that doesn't make the chord... Like, most of the song is fine. It's the chords at the end. It can create some really, really, really nasty rolls if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
And trolls are also extraordinarily hard to time. Why are we downloading music data? I play this song constantly. Failed to download music data? Did
I
they
don't know.
break This Is Not the Angels in an
I don't know.
update? I think they broke This Is Not the Angels in an update. Oh, there it goes. Might have just been a hiccup. Like, this is a Japanese game. I am about as far from Japan as you can possibly be. I'm in the Philadelphia area, so can't get much farther from Japan than that. So occasionally the network, it just doesn't want to behave just because there's so many hops in the way.
Yeah, this song's a pretty funny 11 because this one has BPM changes to throw you off. Like BPM changes, like and scroll changes are more of a DDR thing, but this one especially just kind of just tries to trip you up with them, and it's not super common in 2DX for that to happen. It's such a great song though, and definitely highlights Hamarju just being Hamarju. Yeah, the nice thing about modern 2DX games, they also have a little bit of a nice BPM counter, as you can see below the video right there. It tells you the current BPM, as well as the min and max for the song if there are any kind of like changes in the chart. Good for just like historical keeping and such.
It's been a while since I've PB'd on that. You love to see it.
Yeah, like the catch-up was great.
Amazing stuff. Love that song. That speed up and slow down mechanic is something that me and the community call soft land, named after the first song to pull that stunt, Soft Landing on the Body, old 2DX song. And yeah, it was a bug, and everyone, including Konami, was like, yo, this is kind of fun. And now they do it occasionally, and now that we're all old and bitter, we hate it. Anyways, we're getting into the crunchy bangers that everyone donated towards that incentive for. So thank you again for making sure this incentive got met. There's a lot of other great incentives going on. Before you jump into this, I'm going to get a drink of water. Space Cats, what's the story with incentives right now?
That's a great question. So right now we have a target coming up, our incentive for Neon Beats upgrade to all music notes. We're at $138 out of 300, and we only really have this run and the next run to get to that target, so come on y'all, I know we can do this.
Alright, I'm going to throw down the gauntlet right now, chat. Because Soulmass is a friend of mine, and I like all music notes. Let's make that happen by the end of this run. Y'all got 20 minutes until I run away. So let's see if we can get that met. And make sure we get those all music notes going. Because it's a fun category. It's the category of the game that I consider my main when I speedrun Neon Beats. So let's get a $5.73 train going in honor of Konami. And let's get that met by the end of this run.
Go, not me, 573. A standard for anything that has high scores with Konami's name in it. It's like, you gotta have the 573 score somewhere. Gotta love little running in jokes for company games. Anyways, we're getting an amazing barrage with Lapis here. So, we talked a little bit about styles and their themes. So Sunabuzz was a ninja theme style, a lot of really cool aesthetics there. And the BGA maker for this went all in. It's like we have this little ninja theme BGA, which is really cute and really awesome. I'm a little concerned taking shurikens to the head there. Not good for you. Don't recommend. Lapis being another one of the great, more modern artists that's come around. So Lapis really got started with the floor contest in another beatmania series, Sound Voltex, also very popular. So they would have music contests for that. Lapis would contribute to that too, and win pretty consistently to the point where like, hey, why don't we just commission you to just do stuff for our other games? So he does a lot for 2DX now. And he doesn't miss on those either.
Spitting distance from the dub. Close. Soon. More for Equitas coming up as well. Danza Oestas. Another song from Beastrover. Actually very different. Normally for Equitas, it has a very distinct flavor of hardcore that she sticks to. But Danza Oestas is it's not that. You'll see. It's not that at all.
For all of you that know your beatmania, I always like to think of this one as Afro Knuckle, but for Equitas instead of Nekomata. That's the kind of vibe I get out of this, but Danza Oestas is Latin for summer dance, very appropriate as we continue through Pride Month right here. And at least in my part of the country, it's getting pretty hot, so we might want to have a summer dance of our own. So as we get more into these 11s, you definitely see the complexity. Like, we're having not just 16th notes, we're having a lot of 24th bursts as well. And even some, like, 30-second flames. So it's like, the complexity of this game on the higher end is staggering, to say the least. Like, really, the 11 like difficulty could definitely be divided into 2 other difficulties, and then 12 is just a whole nother story, and we will see 112 in a bit, but 12 as alone could be like 4 or 5 different difficulties. So, but with how large the song list is at this point, I don't think we're ever gonna get a full re-rating of the difficulty system that's desperately needed as they keep adding more and more. I would like to be proven wrong. It would be helpful. But it is a lot of work. And I will say, making games, coming from someone who made an arcade music game, music games are a lot of work.
Amazing.
Nice little chunky peanut butter.
You'll love to see that song. It's so good.
It's so good.
Like, Equitas did not miss.
She doesn't.
Alright, it is soapbox time. If you've been to any of my showcases before where we look at LGBT plus causes, you probably know 2 songs that are always going to make an appearance. I'm going to say something right now. It is non-negotiable. Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
This is the beatmania national anthem for trans people. All rise.
Who doesn't love Nijiro? This is like one of the earliest Yoshitaka songs I can think of. This going all the way back to Poppin' 13, and then it was crossed into 2DX Distorted, the 13th style. But get those rainbows out in chat. And happy Pride Month, everyone. Such a pretty video too for its time.
What a song.
So good.
So, Zelo, tell the class, what does Nijiro mean?
It means rainbow. Rainbow hue, rainbow colored.
There you go. And the lyrics of that song are all about, like, embracing who you really are and not being afraid of that, which is about as overt a statement of queer acceptance as you can get from someone in Japan, because it's a relatively conservative country in that regard. They're typically of the nod politely and move on persuasion when it comes to things they don't understand.
I will say shout outs to like the Japanese speedrun and music game community who are, as a whole, generally very accepting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the rhythm game community in general is like typically a fairly accepting and wonderful space. Like there are usually instances that get handled in more or less amicable ways, but it just depends. But it's usually pretty.
Alright, as we go through Syndrome here, this is one of Nora's songs. I don't remember if this was licensed out of something or if he composed it for 2DX, but Nora's very known for his BMS files. So if you don't know what BMS is, we talked a little bit earlier. BMS is B Music Source. It's a beatmania simulator, basically. So you can play custom beatmania content from files that people in the community would create. Now, the thing about BMS is that they would have these contests. We call this the BMS Fighters, and through these contests, brand new songs would get composed, brand new note charts would be made for them, movies would be made for them. So these contests were very popular with people because hey, brand new content for people to play and see. And the winners of the contest often were noticed by the official music game companies to be like, hey, we'd like to license these songs for our games. Can we do that? And eventually it got to the point where BMS songs started being put in official games. And many of these artists that would contribute BMS songs often would end up getting compositions or commissions to put in. So Nora's very, very popular for that, especially after very known for BBKK BKK, which is a great song on its own, almost a decade old at this point, but it's thanks to that song and a lot of his other BMS stuff that we have great compositions from him in 2DX now.
The border dub, let's go.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Are you? We promised a 12.
It is a very hype 12. Like one of the best you could definitely pick.
If I can remember how the alphabet works, there we go. All right. Actually, you know what? Because this song and the next song, our finale song, both have like very like impactful and important lyrics that I think everyone needs to hear. So, can I call for serious time? And can I call for a 5 decibel bump to the game audio so that we can hear it? Please and thank you.
Mhm. Oh, that a girl. Getting that clear.
Does make me want to fly.
That shirt makes my fingers fly, though. I couldn't play 12s.
I love Carry Me Away. It's such a pretty song. See the bright light shooting off the sky makes me want to fly.
Mhm.
All right. Here's the other song that everyone probably recognizes from all the LGBTQ stuff. The lyrics speak for themselves. I have nothing to add. I'm sure Zelo has nothing to add because he knows what this song means to me. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's
I'm just gonna let you have it.
let's bring it home.
What
That's time, by the way. For anyone who cares, probably Scala. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
No regrets.
Good words to live by.
Absolutely, especially Pride Month, because it's hard out there. It's like that's like why we're out here raising money for True Colors United, because it's rough for a lot of folks, and we need all the help that we can get. So, yeah, that's Beatmania 2DX Infinitas. Just a very, very, very brief test of what this game is all about. I'm Mina Angura. My link is there in chat. Zelo, my bestie on comms. I'm kind of in the middle of a streaming hiatus because I am blasting through Endwalker. I don't often threaten to do violence, but if you spoil anything for Endwalker for me on this site or on any social media, I'm going to have words with you. So I might stream me blasting through the end of Endwalker, but I'm kind of otherwise on a break due to an unfortunate shoulder injury that kind of sidelined me from this game for a bit. But I digress. I am Mina. I'm queer. I'm trans. I make no apologies for it. And if any of those things apply to you, you should not either. I will be back one more time during Power Up with Pride. I'll be hosting later this afternoon for Karo's Metal Gear Solid 2 showcase. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I will not keep y'all any longer. We'll see you guys, gals, NB pals, everyone in between and off the gender spectrum a little later on. Space Cats, what we got going on next?
Coming up next, we have Clone Hero, run by Cherry. And I just wanted to say thank you so much, Mina, for showing us that showcase. I don't think I've ever seen anyone run Beatmania before, and seeing how intense it is, I'm just blown away.
I just want to say real quick, Mina, thank you for being you. And I'm not legally obligated to say this just because I'm here, but thank you for being one of my besties and just having me aboard.
Yeah,
Like
likewise.
I am extremely sleep deprived, but I still had a blast. This game exudes so much energy. And if you are interested in this game or any other music game, there are many people that can help you learn these games, help you set them up, play them, etc. Just contact any one of us.
And also, if you want more music game, stick around because Cherry is next. And I got roped into comms for Cherry during Preventathon a couple weeks ago, and that was a really fun showcase. So make sure you stay tuned for that because that'll be coming up right after this.
For those tuning in and those who have been watching, just a reminder you are watching Power Up with Pride 2024. We are benefiting True Colors United. True Colors United implements innovative solutions to youth homelessness that focuses on the unique experience of LGBTQ young people. Thank you so much for watching. We have a lot of excellent music games coming up,